Welcome to Extraordinary League, an actual play RPG podcast brought to you by Smash Fiction. I'm Dan Mulkerin, your game master. Playing Stitch is Kit Mulkerin.
I ain't nothing but a lute dog, jamming all the time.
Playing Mordin Solus is Colin Mulkerin.
Okay, so I didn't come up with anything this week, but I have a very good reason. I've come up with a lot of stuff this week, as you will soon see. So get over it, people.
Playing Dante Sparda is Liz Logan.
Is my hair okay? No, seriously. Is my hair okay?
Playing Nico Minoru is Miles Schneiderman.
Awesome theater production.
Previously, you traveled to the city of King's Landing in search of one of the gems which can be used to defeat Phyrexia. Here, you met up with another League member, Geralt of Rivia, who told you that in this world, the gem is an emerald known as the Stone of Grace, but the only place that might hold the secret of its location is the Library of the Red Keep. But unfortunately, recent upheaval and talk of revolution and invasion means that the castle has been tightly locked down, and infiltration has been made very difficult, which is why you've decided to pose as a traveling performance troupe to attempt to gain entrance into the keep for King Joffrey's name day. So you've spent some time now working to establish a sufficiently impressive reputation and a sufficiently credible performance in order to get the attention and favor of the crown. So we're going to do a montage. So let's go around a couple of times and have everyone narrate one part of a montage showing your preparations and efforts.
Nico has been engaged primarily in acquiring and sewing costumes.
Okay.
So, I mean, in addition to learning her lines, and I'm not going to say she has stage fright because she used to be in, like, choir and shit. So, you know, she's done this kind of stuff before. She has been mainly just kind of mentally preparing herself, getting in tune with the plan, and also just making the best costumes because she is so inspired, you guys.
So paint me a word picture, Miles. Like, in this montage, what is the first scene that we see with Nico in it?
I am just, like, staring lovingly at this beautiful costume that I have created for the Queen Sybil character, which is my part.
Oh.
And it is just a beautiful black dress, inspired by all the observation I've been doing recently in King's Landing. It is the most impressive thing I've ever done with my sewing skills.
Very nice.
Then I put it down and start working on the next costume.
Okay.
I've been getting pretty friendly with the local, like, tradesmen here in town, you know, because I have to acquire cloth and need to make regular trips out to see the style and everything, get a good sense of what's going on. So this young noblewoman from House Morgan has become, you know, some people know her, you know, on the Street of Steel and all that.
Very good.
Dante has changed his name to Vontae and is now known by that. And he's established himself as one of the leading men of this troupe, known for his physical and athletic prowess and comedy. The first shot is obviously with his shirt off, talking to all the ladies, and then falling into a pile of mud. But before he was running along the rooftops, and he said some lines afterwards, and everyone threw panties at him.
I don't know if that's historically accurate, but okay, we'll move on.
Okay, sorry.
Small clothes.
Pantaloons,
They threw
small clothes.
They threw small clothes at him.
Loincloths. I don't know.
Loincloths.
Yep. They went to their caves. They retrieved some loincloths and clubs.
All right.
The scene I would want to have for Mordin is just the first cast meeting when he has the finished scripts and is handing them out to everyone, and will basically be telling everyone that based on everyone's performances in the auditions, he has opted to give himself the lead, given that he has the most theatrical experience, you know. At one point saying, had to be me, someone else might have gotten it wrong.
I knew you were going to say that.
That's right.
Part of Mordin's montage is Stitch disguised as Lute Dog, taking the script, reading over very quickly, and then eating it. But his montage continues on as a lute dog sitting like people style in a barn, tuning his lute as a like maid, some kind of farm hand, walks into the stable that he's hiding in and just faints at the sight of this weird like abomination of a dog.
Because it's been, you know, a month since our last episode, can you remind all of us as to what your Westerosi disguises are?
Nico's disguise is as a, again, young noblewoman of the House Morgan, who is dark-haired and pretty.
And wears green and black?
That's correct. The sigil being a crow on a stormy field.
Cool.
Mordin is a maester, old, tall, thin, yet still kind of handsome. kind of sunken in cheeks, bright sparkly eyes, that kind of thing. Wears a black...
Are you going to change this for the play? Or
Oh,
are
no,
you
no. This is Mordin's character.
He's the dude playing the dude disguised as the other dude.
Yes. Yeah, and he's a maester, so he wears a chain with each link made of a different material around his neck, for people who are not up on their Song of Ice and Fire stuff.
Dante is a fucking red priest, and he has silver hair, so everyone hates him.
Stitch is disguised as
Lute Dog!
as Lute Dog. He's disguised as like a medium-sized dog, probably close to the same size as Stitch. The coloring is like a almost blue-gray color. So imagine blue cattle dog. If you don't know what those look like, Google them. They're gorgeous. But like not a pure breed. Clearly some kind of mutt. Large German Shepherd-esque ears with the appropriate little chips in them that Stitch has in his own.
And you carry around a lute on your back.
Yes.
Okay.
It is his guitar disguised as a lute.
So what is the name of your troupe that you have put out there?
The Merry Mummers? I don't know.
It's
What do we
the
feel?
lightning round.
The lightning.
What is your troop? What is your number one performer thing? What is it? All right. Okay.
This does feel an awful lot like a lightning round. All
It does.
So we had the Merry Mummers and we had the lightning round.
The
I was gonna say,
Fabulous
can
Five.
Can we work lightning into the name
I mean,
somehow? Just 'cause
4.
it's appropriate? Like the lightning players.
Nice job.
Nailed it.
That's awful. That's
The
awful.
lightning lickers.
Smashing the lightning rounds.
Which one of us is Smash?
Well, which one is pink? Who knows, man?
Smash Pink. That's our name.
The Troupe of the Wandering Storm.
Ooh.
I'm cool with that.
Oh, God.
Got something better, Liz?
Yeah.
Got something better?
Smash Pink. It's like Smash Mouth, but pinker.
That sounds like a sexual move.
It's the Smash Mouth and Pink Floyd mashup cover band we've all been waiting
That
for.
no one was asking for.
All right, so what was it? The something of the Wandering Storm?
The Troupe
The Troop of the Wandering Storm. So you've each been going around trying to spread the word in your own special and unique way about the Troop of the Traveling Storm.
Wandering.
What is one fact or trait about your troop that you have put out into the world?
We have played everywhere from the Free Cities. We played in Lice. We played in Tyrosh. We have gone over into the Riverlands occasionally, toured all the Free Cities, carefully avoided the disputed lands. We've been to Dorne. Haven't been up north yet. It's cold up there.
Okay.
We are very popular in Essos.
Free Cities love us.
King Eris once tried to get us, but could not afford us.
Ooh.
Oh, I like that.
Okay.
Yeah, and now it's only with the newfound power of House Lannister behind the throne that they've been able to even afford it.
Well, yeah, the wealth of Casterly Rock.
That's right.
I came up with a name for our troop.
Okay.
Knights of the Round Lightning.
That's
I like mine better.
You would.
Can we say that Stitch isn't on board with the name? He keeps calling it the Knights of the Round Lightning.
Well, he doesn't really talk. I mean, and when he does,
That's
I
true.
think that's part of the lore. They have a fucking talking dog.
okay.
That's right.
Talking dog.
I just go around telling everyone I've seen dragons. Like, just
Okay.
casually drop it in conversation. Yeah, I've seen them.
I love how Stitch and Dante's contribution to the overall group is all about them.
That sounds about right.
You guys have been hard at work, both building up your actual skills and planning out your heist and spreading a bunch of misinformation. A few days before the celebration actually arrives, there is a knock at the door of your safe house, where you've been rehearsing and practicing and also living.
I answer the door.
On the other side is a gaudily dressed young man. He performs an overly elaborate bow and presents you with a folded piece of parchment. Good day, milady. Might I speak to someone representing the Troop of the Traveling Storm?
Wandering. You are speaking to her now.
Oh, of course. Well then, you are cordially invited to perform henceforth at King Joffrey I of his name's name day. The performance, I must stress, however, is expected to be only of the highest quality, and therefore, if your performance is below that of the king's standard, it may go very poorly for you indeed.
We would be greatly honored to perform at King Joffrey's name day celebrations, and our performances are only ever of the highest quality.
In the background, shut up! Vontae's trying to get his beauty sleep.
It is 3 p.m.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Once again, only ever of the highest quality when we are on stage.
He cocks a disbelieving eyebrow and sort of twitches his very thin mustache. Well, for your sake, I certainly hope that that is indeed the case. Once again, he performs the bow, this time doffing his hat and swirling it around as he bows, and then takes off down the street.
Hey guys, we got the invite.
Only a matter of time.
Geralt steps out and says, I will admit, thought it was gonna come down to us forcefully breaking down the doors, but I guess you're more talented at this than I thought you were.
Human expression, you ain't seen nothing yet.
It's at that moment that Lute Dog comes running through the room wearing some woman's undergarments as a cape.
Hey, give those back.
So the day of the celebration rolls around. You wake up to find that the main streets of King's Landing are decked in red and gold streamers. Vendors have set up wherever space permits, hawking food and cheap souvenirs. You begin to push your way through the crowd, perhaps with a cart behind you, and you begin to make the long way up to the Red Keep. Are you wanting Geralt to come with you, or is he going to be staying behind at the safe house?
We can maybe have him in the audience to come along with us as like a backup if we need another person.
Yeah, Geralt's our plan B.
Okay.
In case the shit goes seriously wrong.
Maybe he's our stage manager. He'll be like hanging out backstage.
All right, so he's in his disguise as a skinny and poorly dressed peasant. So,
although I have dressed him a little bit better.
Okay, of course. The crowd around the Red Keep is thick, with commoners hoping to get their way into some of the cheap seats within the walls to see the show. But the general crush of people is moving very, very slowly. The gold-cloaked guards at the gate are being particularly painstaking in their efforts to screen out potential troublemakers. Now that you're all closer to the walls of the keep, though, you can see that in between some of the parapets running along the top of the wall are prominent iron spikes proudly displaying the heads of presumably individuals that the crown wanted to make a point of not being overly fond of. Directly above the gate itself are a dozen larger spikes which point outward, and each of those features a skewered headless body. Each of those bodies has had a black banner wrapped around it in mockery, and the banners snap in the wind, revealing a red three-headed dragon emblazoned on each one. The reactions from the peasants to these bodies varies. Some of them glare or spit at the bodies. Some of them look at them in a mixture of awe and horror. Some make a visible effort not to look at them at all. But everyone seems to have an opinion about these bodies displayed above the gate.
I glance at them and just ignore them.
Okay.
Not with my time.
All right.
I think I'll ask one of the gold cloaks as we go in, like, what's the deal with the bodies?
It takes some time before you get up to the gate itself, but one of the gold cloaks greets you as you approach. He requests your documentation, your invitation, and he begins to check it up against a list.
Bodies displayed without heads, banner with a dragon, vanquished enemy?
He glances up at you, looks at you almost in disbelief, then glances up at the bodies and then back at you. What, are you kidding?
We're from across the sea.
Oh, well then. These are the bodies of loyalists to the Targaryen family. They recently attempted and failed an assassination on King Joffrey. Them who's survived the fight with the Kingsguard were later executed. But, well, he leans in conspiratorially to you. In their last hours, the rebels revealed that Daenerys Targaryen, the mother of dragons herself, has returned and is even now somewhere in Westeros. And he wiggles his eyebrows at you.
Took her long enough.
Apparently not in this version of the story.
As you're talking with the gold cloak, you see that a broad-bodied knight in white armor and a white cape takes long, slow strides over to you. His brow is furrowed in concentration as if he's trying to remember something. He walks up in the midst of all four of you and says, "Here now, I've seen you before, eh? Weren't you on the way to being locked away?"
Being locked away?
Yeah, It was in the street a few weeks ago. Almost ran you down with me horse.
Excuse me, sir, but that was our rehearsal for our latest play. And right now, you are in our way, and I'm poking his chest. You're in our way. We are the entertainment. We are at a higher level of existence than you. Take me to my room.
Vante, don't offend the member of the Kingsguard. Sir, I have no idea what you're talking about in terms of being locked away. We're on our way to King Joffrey's name day to perform as we have been invited, and I show him the invitation.
We are a professional troupe. How dare thee?
We are the troupe of the Shit, I forgot what it was called.
Knights of
the
Round Lightning, obviously.
The Knights of the Round Lightning.
We are the Troupe of the Wandering Storm, sir. Surely you've heard of us.
That must be where you know us from. You must recognize our faces from our posters.
He cocks his eye at you as he examines your invitation. Dante, make a psyche roll with a bonus for intimidation. Nico, make a psyche roll with a bonus for persuasion. Mordin, make a psyche roll with a bonus for deception. I'm going to be rolling Cerberus Blant's
Can Stitch
intuition.
Assist Dante with the intimidation? Because I can totally see
Are
Stitch.
you just going to be playing a menacing riff on your lute?
He's still a fucking dog.
I got a 4 or a green.
Yeah.
Boris Blunt's intuition better be fucking low.
Stitch is going to see what Dante's sort of doing. He'll approach, growling, ears like pulled back.
All right.
40 green.
Okay.
I got a white.
Okay.
I got a yellow.
Okay.
He's too small of a dog. He's not doing y'all.
All right. He looks suspiciously at Mordin and like he wants to punch Dante and kick Stitch. But Nico's words finally managed to talk him down. That and the totally legitimate, as far as he can tell, invitation. So he passes it back to Mordin. Be on your way then. Just be sure to stay out of my way.
Oh my god, it's so nice to be playing a character with good mental skills.
As we pass him, hey, your cloak's dirty.
Shut up! God, you are so annoying.
That's what they pay me for. Hey, girl.
Oh my god.
The location of the celebration itself is in one of the park-like areas within the walls of the keep. There's fields of soft green grass dotted with trees and crisscrossed by flower beds and cobbled walkways. It overlooks a view of the wide river beyond, beneath the brilliant blue sky. A large wooden stage has been set up. It has an 18-foot tall back wall designed to hang backdrops and to conceal the backstage area from the audience. Already, as you approach, you can see there are dozens of colorfully dressed performers moving costumes, props, and live animals into position. There's a series of stands with wooden benches that rise up in a slight curve facing the stage. Colorful flags displaying the heraldry of various noble houses snap in the breeze above the stands, marking the areas where those particular noble houses are going to be sat. By far the most common of these flags is the red flag with the golden lion upon it, marking one whole section of the stands. Between the stands and the stage is a stretch of grass, which the common folk have crowded into, standing shoulder to shoulder, and a mass of people constantly vying for a better look at the stage. In contrast, the nobility are casually making their way to their section of the stands, angling their entrance so that they can catch the most eyes possible. So you all duck backstage, joining the other performers who are setting up. So are you interacting with any of the performers? What are some of the preparations you're doing? How are you going about in this setup time right before the show starts?
I'm checking all the costumes and stage work meticulously, just making sure everything's right. If anyone comes up and talks to me, that's fine. I don't think I'm going to be standoffish or anything, but I'm very concerned with making sure everything is in its place right now.
Of course.
I would say Mordin's doing a similar sort of thing. He's doing a lot of vocal exercises, reciting a lot of things very quickly, as you might imagine, and is basically focusing a lot on the performance. For those who do not know, it does come up in both some dialogue with him, and if you read the dossier that the Shadow Broker has on Mordin, that he has a musical theater background, and so I think this is the first time he's done this in a while, and is really just getting swept away by it.
I am not doing any preparations whatsoever. I'm the slacker that's off near the backstage door, just trying to chat up every single lady that walks by.
Of course.
And I'm also asking Geralt if he'd do my hair.
Would you do my hair? I'd do my hair.
Oh no.
That is something I would say.
I ask Mordin, is he useful ever?
He throws motorcycles.
Okay then.
Stitch is gonna work the crowd, not because that was his intent. That's just he's bored and he's going into the crowd. There's a woman sitting off by herself, an older woman, kind of waiting for the show to start. He walks over, sits down next to her, and then takes her hand in his paw.
So good. Oh, outstanding.
I give Stitch a wink and thumbs up. I tap that.
In about 5 seconds, she shrieks and runs away.
So near where you guys are setting up backstage, there's another group of performers. They're 4 muscular, dark-haired men. They're wearing painted leather vests over bare torsos. They have horsehair leggings with belts made out of bronze medallions. They're wearing sandals that lace basically all the way up their calves. Currently, they are tending to their 4 horses and some various exotic pieces of weaponry.
Dothraki.
One of them looks over at you and sort of like does a double take. Excuse me, are you the Troupe of the Lightning something?
Wandering Storm, yes.
Oh, I've heard all about you. You're from across the sea, yes?
Yes, we are.
Oh.
As are you, from the look of things.
He glances down, laughs as if remembering what he's dressed like, and says, oh, don't be fooled, we're just from Dorne. But we put on a good show. They love the exotic stuff here.
Absolutely. We were in Dorne recently, actually.
Were you? Where'd you play?
Sunspear, even the Water Gardens once in front of the prince himself.
Thank God for that info dump spell.
Yup.
And then Mordin's clenched fist relaxes slightly.
He leans in close and he says, you didn't happen to see any of the sand snakes, did you?
Sand snakes? Who are they?
He leans back and shakes his head and says, just a dream, I suppose. Just a dream. So what are you thinking about today? How are you thinking this performance is going to go?
I guess it all depends on the king's mood, doesn't it?
Well, that may be a tough hill to climb, if you get my meaning. He's not really looking forward to this entertainment, from what I hear.
I'm pretty sure we got something that'll cheer him up.
Well, if it's not a tourney or an archery contest, you may be disappointed. Anyway, good luck to you. And he goes back to his horse.
And to you.
So eventually, a great fanfare is struck up, and the noise from the crowd turns from the din of hundreds of simultaneous conversations to voices raised in cheer. A contingent rides down from the castle to the stands. There's a golden-haired woman, a dwarf with a startlingly mutilated face, and the young King Joffrey himself, who is accompanied by a lovely young brunette woman wearing green. The whole party is surrounded by a group of knights dressed in white. So the Lannisters take their place at the most lavish and elevated seats in the stands before King Joffrey addresses the crowd. I thank you all for granting me the pleasure of your company on this, my final name day as an unmarried man. May the Seven bless and guide you all and bring glory to our nation and ruin upon those who would stand against us. Everyone can make an intuition check with a bonus for perception at this point.
Nope.
Anything to do with hearing and smell?
No.
Okay.
I got a green.
Okay.
Nothing. White.
Oh, wait, intuition you said?
Yes.
Oh, sorry, white.
Okay.
Stitch, will you save us?
Nope.
Okay, great. The audience applauds and cheers as Joffrey sits, taking Marjorie's hand in his, and very unenthusiastically calls for the shows to begin. There are a few acts ahead of you as you're sitting backstage getting prepared. There's a group of minstrels that come out. They play a selection of folk music from each of the Seven Kingdoms, and they, of course, end with The Reigns of Castamere. There's a short play entitled The Pride of Casterly Rock, which presents the life of Joffrey in such absurdly saccharine and heroic tones that it's genuinely difficult to tell if it's supposed to be praise or satire. Tyrion Lannister can be heard snorting audibly at several points throughout before simply standing and walking back to the castle. The Dothraki imitators, who call themselves the Sand Riders, put on a display of horsemanship and combat, eliciting gasps from the audience. And right before you guys go on, there's a comedy duo that walks around on the stage on stilts whilst juggling and engaging in slapstick and body jokes. They take their bows to the applause of the audience. And
Those guys are dead.
And eventually, well after the sun has set, the stage is lit by torches, and it is time for you to do your thing, which I do not know what it is.
Okay, quickly before we do, I'm going to say, Dan, if you'll allow it, I'm going to say that I had already brought out my staff.
Sure.
It's kind of like been positioned as one of the props. And I am going to mutter a spell as the comedy players are going on. And I'm going to gather everybody around and say prestige. The idea behind this spell is that it's just going to make all of us seem more credible and our performances seem professional and accomplished, and just generally try and help us live up to our reputation a little bit here.
Okay.
You're gonna need a few more just for Dante and Stitch.
I said a little bit.
I think what you're going to need to do is,
I'm
is
doing what I
pull out a
can.
thesaurus and then look up a bunch of synonyms for prestige, and then use a couple of those as well, just to make sure.
All right, so Miles, go ahead and give me a psyche roll so I can see how effective this spell is.
Please use karma.
Yeah, okay, I'll spend karma on this.
Okay.
Oh, didn't really need to. But that 10 from the karma will push it up into red.
Nice.
Cool.
You're all feeling much more charismatic and generally more magnetic. Miles, remember to write down prestige under the list of words you may no longer use.
Already did, sir.
Excellent. All right, moving on.
Mordin's just going to take the stage in his, maester outfit just for a moment and say, this evening we have a gift for King Joffrey. King Joffrey.
And off with his head.
And we're dead. No, sorry guys, that did not last long. No.
Colin, there's no editing in this performance. I can't fix you in post, goddammit.
This evening we have a performance for King Joffrey, a classical play from all across Essos that has been performed numerous times for kings and queens in endless kingdoms. A tale as old as time itself, the tragedy of Cecily and Andre. And then I'm just going to exit the stage.
There's some appreciative murmurs from the audience,
Okay.
as many people pretend to know what this is.
So Geralt, after the role of our stagehand, drags a throne onto the stage, at which point I enter in my beautiful dress and sit upon it.
I enter in the best finery, styled in red and gold, of course.
With a blindfold, of course, wrapped around your face.
With a blindfold, a very nice blindfold. My hair is done impeccably. And I come in and I go, Queen Sybil, you have summoned me.
Yes, Andre, I have. You know, since we're going to be married soon, we really should start behaving more like a couple. I suggest you accompany me to supper this evening, rather than in your bedchambers, as you are so frequently accustomed to do.
Oh, but I so love to take my meals upon my bed while I watch our other troupe perform plays in front of me. But sadly, I don't want to do this with you. It is my private
Mordin
time.
looks down at the script in his hands off stage and is like, nope.
Andre, our marriage is going to happen one way or the other, so you can embrace it, or I guess just pout.
I am so sad, and then I collapse on my knees and start crying.
Andre, you don't have any other options. I know that you continue to think of Princess Cecily, but you know what? She's been dead a long time. She was murdered during the rebellion, okay?
You mean the same rebellion that took away the gift of my sight?
Yes, that same rebellion.
Well, that same rebellion could have killed me. And you wouldn't be marrying me, and I would be even more sad because I would be dead.
Again, Mordin looks at the lines, not even close.
I must leave now.
I agree that the princess did indeed get off lucky. And if you had had your way, you probably would have died as well. But you know what? Those are your lines, not mine.
I must leave. Farewell, thee Cecily.
Queen Sybil. Mordin says under his breath.
All right, let me
Everyone is whispering to each other in the audience right now.
Fare thee well, Sybil. I am going to my bedchamber.
Eat my Lunchables. All right. I did my part. The battle's done. And in the end, I guess we won. I raised the army, I seized the crown, but there was one body I never found. My rule secure, the kingdom thrives, that bitch is dead, and I'm alive. But he will never be here. 'Cause she is always out there, his precious Cecily.
All right. Cut to next. Actually, people get hurried off stage. Curtains close, and then when we reopen, we are on a new set, which is styled to look like a shack, like this little poorhouse in some crowded city somewhere. Stitch, do you wish to take it away?
Lute Dog walks onto set, plops down people style, pulls the lute off of his back, and begins to softly play Elvis Presley's Hound Dog. Parentheses, you ain't nothing.
At this point, Mordin is going to enter, holographically disguised as a maester, and then also wearing a dress and a wig and makeup to look like a young woman.
Oh, yes.
Woodrow, my loyal companion, I just heard the most amazing and terrible news today in the town square. I heard that Queen Sybil plans to marry Prince Andre. I thought that he had died during the rebellion, but it turns out he was just blinded.
The Lute Dog turns to look up at quote-unquote Cecily, blinks its large eyes twice, and then goes back to play.
There's laughter from the audience.
Well, Woodrow, as you know, before Queen Sybil's rebellion, I myself was supposed to take the throne when I came of age. There was even talk that someday Andre and I would be married, but now I hear that all of the portraits and sculptures of me and my family have been destroyed, and so no one even remembers what I look like. I look down to Woodrow expecting a response again.
He's gonna give a big dog yawn, and then he's gonna start playing Elvis Presley's "A Little Less Conversation."
Terrible. We do have one hope, though. My family's signet ring. It was sized to fit my unusually thin and long fingers. And if we could recover that ring from the hidden drawer in the treasury, it will be all the proof that we need of my royal heritage. What do you think of this plan, Woodrow?
He sighs heavily, puts the lute down, stands up, and says,
Does he wait? Does he start playing Jailhouse Rock?
he stands up on two legs and is like, how?
There's some people in the audience that like gasp and like applaud in surprise, and there's an equal number of people that begin to point and say, "Oh, you can totally see the strings." Or, "Oh, that's the worst looking puppet I've ever seen."
Right.
Everyone's a critic.
So Mordin / the Maester / Cecily looks up and says, "But we only need a plan." And then at this point, some jaunty bouncing music starts playing, like boom, ba boom, ba boom, ba boom, ba kind of music, and he's like, "A plan. I have an idea. Thank you.
Oh no.
I'll cut my hair and bind my breasts. We'll masquerade as honored guests. How can they keep their door shut when a charming bard and faithful mutt come knocking, ask for one night stay, a favor which we will repay their kindness with the gift of song, and once we're in, it won't be long. It's the perfect plan. We'll distract them with a song. It's the perfect plan. I'll be back where I belong. And then once you begin to play, I'll take my leave and start to stray right through the castle in disguise. I'll find that ring, I'll seize my prize. That prissy foolish fool they crown will be entranced by you, my hound. And then we'll take our leave before they've had the time to check the drawer. It's the perfect plan. We'll distract them with a song. It's the perfect plan. What could possibly go wrong?
Stitch has been dancing the whole time. Now he's actually interested and entertained.
Set change. We're back in the throne room. We have 2 thrones now.
The curtain lands on Stitch and he has to pull his little butt back in.
And I drag Vante out to stage to sit him on his throne, and I sit on mine.
Have to turn him around in the dark because he's blindfolded and like.
Yeah, that's right.
This throne's so hard. I hate it.
Okay, so the curtain comes up, and then Mordin, disguised as the Maester, disguised as Cecily, disguised as a male bard, enters the room.
Something smells really good, but something smells really bad too.
This is, you are the bard who was asked to spend the night. This is the bard, ladies and gentlemen, who was asked to spend the night, and he offers a payment of a song. Is that correct, sir?
Oh, that is correct, my lady, and may I just say you are even more beautiful in person than I ever thought possible.
Oh, you're too kind. Yes, I am. I'm always more beautiful in person than anyone has ever thought possible, and you're not too bad yourself.
I lean over to Sybil and I'm like, is this a guy or a girl?
It's a guy. What's wrong with you?
Oh, the scent. Just smells like a girl I once knew back when I wasn't blind. but now he sounds like a guy and I'm confused.
You don't think you know that voice from somewhere, do you?
No.
You don't think you know that voice from somewhere, do you? To Dante.
No, but the smell. But like I said, there's
the
something
smell.
also that's quite bad.
but also the voice. You know the voice from somewhere.
I mean, if I really think about it, maybe.
Ah, surely you're mistaken. You do not know my voice from anywhere.
Oh, I do smell that though. It smells like flowers almost. I'm just taking Dante's lines now.
Well, now I can hear it now. More senses are coming to me, but not my eyes because they're gone.
I'm going to say that Dante didn't memorize his lines and wrote them on the inside of his blindfold, and is suddenly realizing that he can't read them.
Awesome. It just, the flowers you were smelling. That must be my dog Woodrow. He smells like flowers.
Stitch releases a full 5-second belch.
I'm pretty sure he's the thing that smells quite bad.
No, he smells wonderful. Wonderful. By all means, sing your song.
Well...
Oh, wait, first Liz has to sing her song.
I need to sing a song now, audience.
Mordin just face palms.
You're getting some really confused stares from the audience.
I feel like I would break the fourth wall and lift up my blindfold as well and begin to.
I'm not really blind either. It's like a part of.
Wink. I slip it back on and I get on the stage. What is this thing that I am feeling? Have I finally found my center? Can it be that my pain is healing? Or is the stranger my new tormentor? I mean, yeah, the queen's great and all. She doesn't care if my room is messy. She gives me clothes and she gives me pizza. But I cannot turn my back on Cecily. What is happening in my heart? I'm being torn in three between the queen, the bard, and my long-lost Cecily. Then there's this bard guy who smells like flowers. Do I want to be... do I want to be with him or maybe be him? I've never been with a dude before. But is it still gay if you cannot see them? What is happening in my heart? I'm being torn in three between the queen, the bard, and the ghost of Cecily.
Woo! Oh my gosh. Oh, not a dry eye in the house.
Just for the laughter.
Okay, so I immediately lightly slapped him in the face. Hey, Andre. Staring into space for 5 minutes. I know you can't.
Sorry, what?
I know you can't really stare, but it looks like you've been staring.
No. You're not my real mom.
Milady, may we begin our performance?
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
Begin. Begin, bard and dog.
I looked at Sybil and I'm like, how does he know my pet name?
At this point, I'm going to say that the curtains draw back a little bit, and the lighting's positioned in such a way that the area of the stage where Dante is sitting on the throne is still in the light, but the area where Nico's throne there is kind of in shadow, and you can't really see it anymore. And at this point in time, Mordin is going to very slowly start inching his way towards the edge of the stage to exit.
Okay.
All right, so Stitch/Lute Dog is going to, on his hind legs, walk over to the front of the stage, takes his lute in his hands, and he says, this one's an oldie, but he just decides to start, and he plays the sickest fucking version of Johnny Be Good.
On fucking Marlene, bitches.
Yeah.
Okay. So Mordin is sneaking off?
Yeah, and signals as he gets backstage, kind of signals to Nico to head off.
Okay. So
As
you
this
guys
is happening as well, I run down into the audience and I start giving everyone high fives and running by them.
Yes.
High-fiving. I'm pepping everybody up yeah.
Oh, man. All right.
Please try to crowd surf at one point.
Okay, so you guys are sneaking off in order to infiltrate the Red Keep. Go ahead and roll some agility plus stealth rolls for me.
Well, that's not good.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
No, it won't be.
Did you spend karma? Because I'm spending karma.
Oh, I got a white. I didn't spend any karma.
Just by spending a small amount of karma, just the normal 10, I get it up to a green. I'll let that slide.
Okay, so we have a green and a white. Interesting. The two of you slip off the stage and begin making your way through the shadows. Thankfully, as I mentioned earlier, the sun has gone down, so it's fairly dark once you get outside of the ring of light from the torches that light the stage. However, there's a pair of eyes that follow your path away from the stage and toward the castle. You have made your way out of the garden area, and you are now in the inner walls and hallways of the Red Keep. From what you've been able to discover, the library is apparently within the Tower of the Hand, which, as you look at it, is both currently closed and locked, and also it is well within sight of the entrance to Maegor's Holdfast, where one of the white-armored knights of the Kingsguard is currently standing guard.
Can we say that Mordin looks up and he notices a good portion of the way up the tower, there's like a little balcony?
Sure.
Okay, Mordin's going to take out his portal gun.
Right.
He's going to attempt to create a portal on the wall above the balcony.
Okay. You can effectively do so without having to roll a check. The challenge will be doing so in an innocuous enough way that the guard posted at the holdfast doesn't notice you. So go ahead and give me another agility plus stealth.
Okay, I'm going to spend karma.
Okay.
I got a yellow.
Excellent. A portal appears on the overhang above the balcony, and then presumably you put one where, like, on the wall next to you or on the ground?
Yeah, just on a nearby wall. And then
Okay.
I'm going to motion for Nico to follow me through.
I do.
All right.
All right, cool.
You both feel a really weird sensation walking through the portal as gravity changes, because you were walking through a portal which was perpendicular to the ground and emerged from one which is parallel to the ground. And so, like, gravity changes as soon as you step through, and you find yourself basically struggling to avoid face planting on the balcony. It's not important whether you do or don't, so I will allow you to decide how that turns out.
I'm going to say Mordin's been practicing with this for a while, so he's pretty good at it.
Okay.
Nico probably face plants.
Okay.
Well, let's be honest about this.
Sure. The
God!
Knight of the Kingsguard looks up at the sound of a distant thump and begins looking around, but not having seen anything immediately shrugs and goes back to his post. You guys are now in the Tower of the Hand.
Cool. Mordin's going to say to Nico, should have warned you. Next time, you've probably figured it out by this point.
Yeah. I got it now, thanks.
Mordin's going to flip a switch to shut off the two portals, assuming that's something the portal gun can do.
I will say you can deactivate it. That's fine. You managed to find your way to the library fairly easily. The tower is tall, but it's laid out in a very straightforward manner, and there's not a ton of rooms in it. The library itself is not especially large in terms of square footage, but it has many more shelves than its size would normally indicate, because the tall shelves are designed to roll along tracks in the ceiling and can thus be stacked several deep and moved around for access. And then in addition, there's at least a dozen books lying strewn about the single reading table in this room. So there's a lot of books in this room.
Can we say that Mordin has the ability to take like a 360 panorama shot with his Omni tool, just like take a picture, and then like basically do like an image to text conversion to get all of the names on the spines of the texts and see if he can search?
That'll be interesting. The difficulty comes because some of the shelves are obscured by other shelves.
Do we know the name of the book that we're reading?
You have no idea. You're looking for one fact.
I'm going to say librarian.
Interesting. What do you anticipate this spell doing?
Giving me knowledge of the contents of the library.
Or maybe you could summon a helpful magical librarian.
Oh, that'd be cool.
So Nico casts the librarian spell. Immediately thereafter, you hear a voice from behind you say, "Well now, shouldn't you be back on stage? Because I must say, if you are thieves, you've rather missed a good deal of much more valuable objects on your way here."
I turn.
You turn and you see Tyrion Lannister standing in the doorway. He currently has a crossbow slung casually over his shoulder.
Lord Tyrion, yes, we were just about to get back there.
We needed some information. No, we need a book for our performance.
You need a book for your performance, and you didn't think to request it earlier, and you thought the best time to do so was in the middle of your performance.
I mean, see, the guy playing Andre was supposed to bring it, but, I'm sure as we've seen, not exactly the best memory.
He waves his arms, making the crossbow describe a rather disturbing arc through the room. Come now, aren't you supposed to be actors? If you're going to lie to me, at least make it believable.
Nico, this appears to be an intelligent man. I don't think we need to insult him in such a way.
Oh, yeah, sure. No, absolutely, I agree. So let's tell him that we're here for the Stone of Grace, which you don't know what that is, and somewhere in this library is the information that will help us find it, and you don't by any chance know which book that might be in, do you?
He actually raises an eyebrow at this, and he says, the Stone of Grace. I'm not sure why, but I find the urge to be extremely helpful to you right now, he says, his eyes sort of like falling upon the staff. I'm going to switch back real quick to the stage. Stitch, you have finished playing Johnny Be Good.
All right. So he says, I guess you guys aren't ready for that yet, but your kids are going to love it.
It is very obvious to both you and Dante that Nico and Mordin are not back yet. What do you do?
I go to one of the guards who, of course, has a crossbow on him.
Okay.
Yes.
And I take the crossbow and I go up on stage and I'm
Hey,
like,
you can't take that!
oh, it's going to be featured in this play. You're going to be famous. People are going to want to see your crossbow.
At this point, you're already on stage anyway.
And I just go, behold, this crossbow. I have named it Artemis. Let me recant to you, Artemis.
Stitch poses like with his arms like all dramatically signaling the crossbow as though it really was some great artifact.
Dramatic emphasis.
He keeps making like these dramatic like pointing poses at the crossbow.
Both of you make psyche checks with a bonus for performance.
Oh no. Okay. How does Stitch not have performance? He played guitar so good it wrecked the fucking beach.
I don't think it was his guitar playing that wrecked the beach.
I got a green.
That's true. It was his charisma.
You said you got a green, Liz?
Correct.
Okay.
Green.
Okay, so the audience is really confused and trying desperately to connect this to the plot of the play, which was already running a little thin.
All right,
but they're along for the ride, for the time being, at least.
So I go, oh, back when I wasn't blind and had my eyes, I would practice with my crossbow when I wasn't sitting in my bedchambers. And as the good people of the audience knows, crossbows are meant for the most highest of men, the ones who ride and command lions, practically. Everyone loves a good crossbow. So now, I will try to see if I'm any good at crossbow anymore with this strange lute dog holding this apple. Girl, give me a fucking apple. Lute dog, take your place and let's see if this old blind bat can hit that apple.
All right. So Dante, make an agility check.
Okay.
With a
Joffrey perk up at all this crossbow talk.
Karma.
And does Geralt successfully produce an apple?
I'll say he finds one of the balls that the little entertainers had in the act before.
I'll say Joffrey perks up, but not in the way most people would.
Yeah. So Dante, you're going to be making an agility check. You get a bonus for ranged combat guns. However, you're going to be acting at a -6 penalty because you are blindfolded.
Can Stitch try to move in such a way?
Oh, yeah.
So that, Dante's going to spend karma anyway, but, so Dante spends less karma.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, I'll say, Stitch, you can make an agility check to try to move the ball so that it gets impaled by the crossbow bolt.
Okay, agility, right.
Yes.
Oh, green!
It doesn't matter, dude. I got technically, over 100.
So yeah, Dante managed to fire the bolt into the partially terrified and largely exhilarated Stitch, or rather the ball that he's holding, and the audience bursts into genuine stunned applause, with the exception, of course, of that perpetually cynical segment of the audience which insists that it's all tricks and they can totally see the wires.
The crossbow bolt was in the ball the whole time.
Of
They were
course,
just hiding
of
it.
Can't believe you didn't see that. Anyway, back in the library, Tyrion is continuing as he looks over the shelves and he says, "It may surprise you to learn that this was once my tower not so long ago. I spent many an hour in here. I have a nasty habit of returning to the same books. Could one of you move this for me, please?" He's referring to one of the shelves that he's looking at.
I do.
Yes, thank you. What was I saying? I often return to the same books, but every now and then I like to look into new stories I haven't heard before. He begins to run his finger along the spines of some of the books near the bottom of the shelf. "You've a mind like a steel trap, my dear brother," Jamie would say. "Anything that gets in there is apt to die." Well, far be it from me to argue with a member of the Kingsguard, but I do happen to have a menu for... here it is. He pulls one of the heavier-looking tomes from the shelf and brings it over to the table, where he opens it and flips through it with practiced ease and familiarity. He apparently finds the page that he's looking for, and he says, "No one seems to be able to agree on where the Stone of Grace came from originally, but it somehow came into possession of King Aegon the Conqueror. He later gave it as part of a peace offering to Torrhen Stark, the last Stark king of the North, once Torrhen surrendered to him. If it's the Stone of Grace that you seek, it will be north in Winterfell. And yet I can't help but wonder why mummers such as yourselves would be looking for such an obscure piece of history." And he gives you a very meaningful look.
Research for a play.
"The search for a play." He looks over at Nico and he says, "And I suppose you would tell me the same story?"
I point the staff at him and I say, "Blackout drunk."
Roll Psyche, Miles.
At least he'll be happy.
Yeah, that is a yellow.
And with that, he passes out on the ground and begins to mumble something about someone named Shay.
All right.
Mordin's gonna grab the book that he had and just close it and put it into his robe.
Okay, so you guys head back to the stage. Dante and Stitch, you guys have to vamp for a little bit longer.
Well, I was going to use the staff again and say dramatic entrance.
Okay.
And teleport us to the stage.
Okay. The two of you appear on stage right as a crossbow bolt, flies directly in between you two. Into yet another ball, which Dante has fired a crossbow bolt into, and you can see there's about 6 of them lying off on the backstage area. You return to the stage, and the audience applauds appreciatively at your, shall we say, dramatic entrance.
Are you not entertained?
And now, after the traditional intermission of our play, which has nothing to do with the plot of the play... As is traditional in all plays in Essos, we return to our story. and
of course, everyone in the crowd pretends that they know what you're talking about.
Right.
I leave stage immediately.
I'm going to try to get Dante and Stitch to leave as well.
I must leave. Thank you, audience.
Stitch looks out, bows.
There's some thunderous applause for Stitch.
Okay.
Bye. Walks out on hind legs.
Yeah. Mordin nods to Geralt, who's going to wheel in and out a few different pieces of scenery. Now we are in what looks like it's still the castle, but it's sort of like a rather nondescript hallway of the castle. Mordin as the maester, as Cecily, as the bard. So I just want to point out right now, Colin is playing Mordin, who is playing a maester, who is playing Cecily, who is playing a bard.
Yeah, it's real Shakespearean here.
I'm 5 deep right now.
This is as you like it territory here.
You're balls deep is what you are.
So Mordin's gonna walk up to one of the bricks in the wall that's kind of low and off to the side, and he's going to grab it with his fingers and slide it out, and actually there's a drawer there, and then he's going to fiddle around inside for a moment before pulling out a shiny golden ring. He then pushes the brick back into place, and then is slowly getting up to turn around and is really hoping that Dante's going to be there.
I push Dante on stage.
Aha! I knew you had disappeared, Bard, when I no longer smelled your delicious flowery scent. What are you doing?
I've come to retrieve something.
You mean steal something?
No?
I'm like, God damn it, that was my line. I can hear you clanking rings and other fine goods together. Have at thee! I unsheath my sword.
I'll say.
I do not wish to fight you, but... And then Mordin looks up, and there are actually like 2 crossed swords on this wall. But I will defend myself if I must. I urge you, good sir, to please let me pass.
I cannot. You have shat all over my honor. And I must do this.
And they fight.
And then you attack me. So yeah, Mordin is going to, at this point, run up and block Dante's outstretched sword, which he is not swinging, and then start backing away and like parrying shots that Dante is not taking.
Oh my god.
Oh, I've seen plays like this.
Yeah.
We fight, and finally I slide my sword right into the nice-smelling bard.
Yep, so I catch the sword in my armpit as I am slain! And then I collapse to the ground and drop my sword.
Haha! You are slain!
Yes, I am.
I kneel down.
Oh, you are truly a great fighter and a great man to wish to protect your kingdom from intruders such as this, but I now lie before you a dying man, and would you please grant me one last request?
I must. You were quite a good fighter as well. I mean, not really, but you tried.
Just take my hand until I die.
I think back to my lines in my song. I'm like, okay, sure.
So we take hands. I'm going to say actually under the hologram, this is the first time that Dante has touched Mordin's weird alien hands. that just occurred to me right now.
How slim and slender you are.
At this point, Mordin's going to take the signet ring and slide it onto one of his fingers, and then guide Dante's hands over his own hands to show that the signet ring does in fact fit.
Oh, the humanity! No! I should have been the one to fill your dark soul with light!
I walk on to the stage.
And yeah, at this point, I feign dying.
My love! Cecily!
All right, I walk back on the stage as Andre cradles his beloved's body in his arms. My rules secure, the kingdom thrives, that bitch is dead, and I'm alive. And you will always be here, 'cause she is gone forever. Your precious Cecily. I turn to the crowd. Lords and ladies, King Joffrey, your grace. I think we've all learned an important lesson here today. The lesson of this great play that has been performed in front of kings and queens throughout Westeros and Essos and all the land. Nobody should ever attempt to overthrow the current royal family, regardless of how they came to occupy the throne. Now, I will marry Prince Andre. We will adopt Woodrow, the guitar-playing dog. And, with the exception of Cecily, the traitor to the throne, who is now dead, as is fitting, we will all live happily ever after.
And now Board Stitch comes bursting out of the backdrop and starts like just like tearing apart random shit.
Mordin starts motioning to Geralt for the curtain to come down.
It goes halfway, and then it like gets stuck on some protruding piece of stage architecture, and like the whole thing just topples over.
Fuck you, GM!
I come out from underneath the curtain and take off my blindfold and throw it into the audience. So hopefully someone catches it.
Thunderous applause from the audience. The performances have finished. All of the performers take the stage, and they bow to King Joffrey as he rises up. He says, I thank you once more for sharing this very special day with me. I now declare that... He pauses and he glances down at his mother and his grandfather, and after a brief flash of defiance in his features, he says, "The Sand Riders and the Troupe of the Traveling Storm will fight to the death here and now!"
It's the Wandering Storm!
The crowd of performers suddenly give you guys a lot of room. You see the Sand Riders, for their part, are looking bewildered and uncertain, with panic and surprise in their eyes. Joffrey bellows, "Now!" The riders very reluctantly begin to draw their weapons. What all do you do?
Oh boy.
Where's the closest window?
Well, you're on stage, so
Yeah.
probably in the castle, which is
Yeah.
a good distance
Okay,
away.
so Lute Dog / Stitch is going to run in front of everyone, pull his loot off of his back, and basically do that attack that Eno does in the game, her most powerful attack, where like an amp suddenly appears.
Okay.
And he plays a fucking sick-ass riff! And then like these weird orbs appear, and it's just basically everyone in a cone is just blown away by physical sound.
Okay.
Despite the sweetest metal.
Okay.
It's the sweetest metal.
I will let you decide if you want your guitar playing checks to use your agility or your psyche.
Oh, totally agility.
All right, then.
He meatleys better than anyone.
There you go. You went to the Eddie Van Halen school of pulling enemies away.
At this point, Mordin's going to turn to Nico and say, "It's not enough for us to escape. We have to help them escape as well, or they will be killed."
Should I aim the cone at like the guards, basically? Make a big ol' hole for us to run through?
That's probably best.
Okay, I'm gonna blast through the guards.
All right.
That wants to be decent. Karma. I'm gonna make it a yellow.
Okay.
So it's remarkable sonic damage to all targets in a cone.
Excellent. The guards go flying backwards as you basically clear a path off the stage wide enough for all of you to run. The Sand Riders, I might add, are actually mounted at the moment.
Mordin's going to turn to the Sand Riders and say, "Come with me if you want to live."
Very good. Make a psyche with persuasion.
Green.
Because you are basically telling them what they want to hear, green is all you needed to do.
Okay.
They are more than willing to follow you away from this crazy homicidal boy king. What's your escape plan?
I want to run until we can see the horizon, basically. Then we can just start portal jumping.
Okay, so you're basically like trying to find a place where you can get a clear shot outside of the walls of the Red Keep. Is
Yes.
that about the size of it?
Yeah,
okay.
Where we just have line of sight to outside the Red Keep.
Cool. So if you guys want to try to run on foot, you'll be making endurance checks. If you would like to jump onto one of the horses along with the Sand Riders, you'll be making agility checks. Or if you have another way that you want to escape, or if there's something else entirely that you would like to do, obviously those are options as well.
Stitch is gonna jump, Lute Dog is gonna jump onto Dante's back.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Mordin, dressed as a maester, as a princess, is going to jump onto one of the Sand Riders' horses and just be like sitting side saddle behind one of them with his arms
Right.
wrapped around them.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna take off running with Stitch.
Okay.
I will run as well.
Okay. Go ahead and roll those appropriate checks. I'm going to say that Geralt vaults onto one of the horses behind the Sand Riders.
At this point, I give out, of course, my typical battle cry as a leader. Run away!
Can Stitch holding on with two of his arms and then playing with his two other ones from
Mad Max
Dante's
theme?
back? Yeah, he's gonna be blasting everone behind them.
So now
from
you're a
Dante's back.
horrific six-legged dog.
I mean, whatever.
That's a yes.
There's weirder shit here.
Well, I guess.
Once in a while.
Not in King's Landing,
Then we
maybe.
started on Melisandre's shit.
Yeah,
Whatever.
so I'll say for your roll, Stitch, you can make that agility roll again.
Okay.
Mordin got a green for his agility roll.
Okay.
I got a white for my endurance.
Okay.
Ah.
Was that a green I heard from Dante?
Yes.
Okay.
No go this time. I think he just blasted apart like a chicken coop.
Okay.
Sorry.
So the horses are riding away, and those that are on foot are running. Unfortunately, Nico, you made your dress a little too accurately,
Damn it.
It turns out that period appropriate dresses are a total bitch to run in. And you end up tripping over your own skirts and ending up lying down in the mud as you look up and you see that there's several armored boots that have surrounded you, and you can see the tips of swords and spears pointed at you.
Stitch is gonna yank on Dante to stop.
Okay.
Turn around.
Points frantically at Nico.
We start running towards Nico. Can I just, like, barrel into the guards?
Sure. You can make a charge attack, which is an endurance check.
Okay.
Mordin's going to keep riding, but he's going to kind of slow to a trot a little bit and be kind of looking over his shoulder. He's confident that they can pull themselves out of this one. So
Okay.
That's a green, too.
Okay. So you charge into the middle of these guys and knock a couple of them over. Half of the guards are now pointing their swords at Nico, and half of them are pointing them at Dante. I'm going to have them make some attack rolls. Nico, one of them manages to get a hit on you, but you can attempt to dodge or block it if you wish.
What's block is fighting?
Block is strength.
Block is strength. Okay, I'll dodge.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen your stats. That's the wise choice.
Yeah.
And Dante, two of them are hitting you, but you can try to dodge or block one of them.
I got a green.
Okay.
I'm gonna dodge. Come on, big money! Oh, that's not big money. White.
Okay, so Nico, you get hit once for 12 damage. Dante, you get hit twice for 12 damage each, so that means 24 damage.
I would like to cast a spell.
Okay.
Swords to Plowshares.
Nice!
nerd.
Roll Psyche.
I will spend Karma.
Okay.
I'll leave it at yellow.
Okay. All of the guards are now suddenly holding gardening tools. And looking rather confused and not sure what to do about them. You guys have an opening to escape. Those of you that are involved with
Run
the guards.
away!
Stitch, Dante, and Nico.
I rip this fucking dress and go.
Okay. You guys stand up and begin to run. You notice that, however, that the King's Guard have now joined in the pursuit. I'm going to need all of you to make an additional check of the agility if you're on horseback or endurance if you're running.
I will continue to provide blasty support.
Yes, you may go ahead. Basically, Kit, if you succeed on yours, you can cancel out a failure for someone else.
Cool.
Dan, do I need to, or do I have a sufficient lead since I didn't slow down?
You have to, but I'm going to give you a +2 because of your lead.
Damn it. I'm like, damn.
All my dice are betrayed.
Yellow.
I got yellow as well. I was like a couple points away from being red.
How would Stitch and Mordin do?
Oh, no. No, my dice... No.
Green.
Okay.
I'm going to use digital dice now. Fuck you guys.
Stitch, you really have to tune this guitar. It's real off. Like, drop D is the appropriate tuning for blasting fools away. But fortunately, no one needs your additional firepower, as everyone else is able to stay sufficiently ahead of the pursuing knights and weave their way through the weird geometries of the Red Keep. Mordin, you come to a portcullis, and you have a clear shot basically across the square directly in front of the front gate.
Okay, I'm gonna shoot a portal out and create a little blue portal on just like the wall of a nearby building outside. Okay. And then I'm going to have it pointed at the wall, but I'm not going to fire it yet. I'm going to size it the size of the portal. I'm like, horses may not fit.
Well, a horse could fit, but it couldn't fit with a... Well, no, the rider would just have to duck really low.
Yeah, you think so? They can squeeze through a portal?
I think a horse could fit through a portal.
I'm going to make the orange portal here, and then I'm going to hop off, and I'm going to say, trust me, and then I'm going to start like kind of motioning people to walk through the portal.
So I'm going to say it's going to take a full 2 rounds for everyone to get through the portal. At this point, the Kingsguard are still approaching. However, there are some archers that have lined up on the roof of the castle, and they are beginning to draw. What do all of you do in the 1 round that you have before you can jump into the portal?
I think I'm going to fire and incinerate at the area in front of the archers, just to like make a little explosion and some fire to like stall them, hopefully, and kind of knock them back a little bit, like kind of suppressive fire thing.
Okay.
Can he pull out his trusty battle ladle?
Where is he keeping it?
Don't worry about it. He morphed it and hid it under his collar.
Sure.
Don't worry about it. He's gonna morph it into the shitty boomerang, and he's gonna make an attempt to throw that.
At who?
One of the bowmen.
One of the archers? Okay. Yeah. What about Dante and Nico?
I am going to point my staff at the building where the archers are firing from, and I'm going to say rotted foundations.
Okay.
Ooh, very good.
I'm going to prep for the Kingsguard.
Okay, so you just draw your sword and wait. Cool. So, Nico, give me Psyche. Mordin, you can fire your Incinerate. And Stitch, go ahead and give me an Agility with bonus 4 range combat throwing.
I got a white.
Okay.
Got a green.
Okay.
Just barely green.
A wall of fire springs up in between the archers and you, and one of the archers is sort of manages to get around the wall of fire and draws his bow and aims, and then takes a boomerang / ladle right to the forehead. Nico, you point your staff and you say rotted foundation. Unfortunately, you sink up to your knees in the ground all of a sudden.
Oh god.
As you aimed your staff a little too low, and the ground has sort of cracked underneath you.
Shit.
Dante, you are prepared as the Kingsguard are approaching. They have ridden so that they are now very close by you. What do you want to do?
Throw my sword at one of them.
Okay. Go ahead and give me that agility check.
Yellow.
Now, is your intention to stab him? Are you trying to simply, like, knock him off his horse or just freak him out? Like, how lethal are you trying to be?
Stab him. Right there.
Okay.
Come on,
Don't
Dan.
even know why I asked. The sword basically hits him full on and unhorses him, and he falls to the ground as the rest of the Kingsguard begins to charge forward with renewed sort of bloodlust and vigor. However, the portal is open. Dante, however, is perilously close to the Kingsguard, and Nico is currently in the ground. Stitch and Mordin, you guys are fine. You guys can go if you want to. What is everyone doing?
Pulling myself out of the ground.
Mordin's gonna go assist Dante.
Okay, how are you assisting him?
I'm gonna pull out my gun. I probably didn't program it to look like anything, so I just now have a really futuristic sci-fi gun in my hand.
Sure.
I'm just gonna point at the ground, kind of at their feet. I'm using my submachine gun, and I'm just gonna hold down the trigger and kind of fire some sprays of bullets down there, just to like create a weird alien noise and light and crazy shit just to freak him out. So
You're doing some suppressive fire, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, Dante, what are you doing?
Getting my sword back.
It came back to you. You don't
Mission
need to.
accomplished.
Yeah, you don't need to worry about that. So are you just hanging out?
Yeah, I'm like backing up Mordin. I'm gonna look all scary and intimidating.
Okay. And Stitch, what are you doing?
I got my ladle back, right?
Yes.
It boomeranged back to me. Yay.
Yes.
Okay.
Did
put
it?
that-
Yeah, it totally did.
Does Nico need help getting out of the ground?
That remains to be seen. She's having some trouble, and
Okay.
I'm gonna give you a hint. It's gonna be a strength-based check.
Okay.
God damn it.
Stitch is just gonna go over. Is Nico's hands free?
Yes,
Or one
she,
hand?
she's up to about her knees.
Okay. Stitch is gonna grab her and just like yoink.
Okay, so Stitch and Nico both make strength checks. Mordin, I'm gonna say you can make an agility with ranged combat guns check.
okay.
And yellow.
I got a green.
Okay. Yep. Nico, you are yanked up out of the ground by Stitch.
Oh, thank you.
White.
Stitch looks very pleased with himself.
Okay, the Kingsguard is not swayed by your intimidation, and they are now close enough to attack Mordin and Dante. Mordin, you are getting hit once. Dante, you are getting hit 3 times.
Oh my god. Dodge.
You may do so.
Can I dodge?
Karma.
Nope, I failed.
Okay.
Oh my god, thank god. I'm taking that all the way to a red.
Okay. Dante, I'm going to say you dodge 2 of the attacks, and Mordin, you don't dodge any, so you both end up taking 20. However,
Okay.
Mordin, your force field is still active in your hologram form.
Cool.
You guys can try to run back to the portal if you want, but Dante and Mordin, you're kind of going to be pulling like an opportunity attack if you get away from the Kingsguard at this point. So it's up to you.
I'm cool with that.
Okay.
Yeah, might as well.
I'm going to like turn to Dante and look at the portal and wait to get a nod before I start running because I don't want him to just stay here like a dumbass and try to fight them.
I'm gonna look Mordin in the eyes and say, "Lead me, Cecily."
Can I cast a spell before they do this?
You may. What would you like?
As Mordin starts running, he says, "Now you remember your lines."
I'm going to cast the Kingsguard. I'm assuming that they're wearing some kind of leather underneath their armor.
Yeah, usually boiled leather, as George R. R. Martin loves to point out.
Yeah. So my spell is going to be leather to metal.
Ooh.
Okay.
Or leather to steel.
Leather to steel. Cool. Go ahead and give me some psyche for you.
I will spend karma.
Okay.
I'll spend 30 karma to get that to yellow.
Okay. The Kingsguard lose their opportunity attack as their armor is now entirely inflexible, and they are essentially imprisoned in their own clothing.
Yeah.
Dante, Mordin, Stitch, and Nico, you all managed to jump through the portal, and Mordin, I assume you shut it off.
Yes, as soon as we got through. I assume that Nico can relate to the feeling of being imprisoned in clothing.
Yeah, absolutely. Feel my pain, motherfuckers.
The Sand Riders on the other side are looking at you in utter astonishment. One of them just says, What sorcery was that?
The black kind?
We're not done with it yet. Mordin's going to point his gun further down the road and just fire again and just make another portal. And then he's just basically going to start like alternating back and forth colors to like make portals to just kind of go further and further ahead down the road and say, let's keep moving.
So you guys are portaling out of the city, basically.
Yeah.
I'm going to cut to later on when you guys are overlooking King's Landing, lit up, even though it's, nighttime. The stars sparkle brilliantly above you. Geralt just says, well, I figure that safe house is pretty much gone by now. They clearly knew where to find us, so they'll know where to look. But were you at least able to find the information you were looking for?
Mordin nods.
You were.
Mordin will pull out the book and just kind of hold it up and then slide it back, hidden from sight again. Yes, we're heading north.
So you guys know that you need to get to Winterfell. How are you planning on doing that?
So the Sand Riders have how many horses?
They have 4.
And there are 4 of them?
Yes.
Let's ask if we can borrow them.
I'm going to say that they say yes. I mean, you guys basically saved their lives, and they are pretty sure you could have just killed them on stage.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to do one more spell here, and that spell is going to be Pegasi.
Nice.
Ooh, yes.
All right.
Ooh.
Nico, with a wave of your staff and an uttered word of power, the 4 horses sprout wings, and in the low light of nighttime, in the skies above King's Landing, the Extraordinary League takes off and goes from shadows to a memory in the night sky. Extraordinary League is produced by Miles Schneiderman, with logo design by Colin Mulkerin.
Special thanks to Kevin MacLeod for our theme song, which is called Motherload. You can find his works at www.incompetech.com.
You can follow the Smash Fiction Podcast on Twitter at SmashFicPodcast and search for us on Facebook and Tumblr.
Subscribe on iTunes, and if you leave us a good review, we shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine.
If you have any suggestions, feedback, or other contributions, send them to us at smashfictionpodcast@gmail.com and help us continue the fight.
Is that you? Who is that? I can no longer smell your delicious, flowery, amazing scent.
No, you totally can.
And I know that it's you, Cecily.
No, you don't actually. It's the bard.
I mean,
what is going to say? Like, surely, you must think I am an intruder who has come to steal this ring. And you will fight me now in a duel.
Dude, we gotta start this over. That was too immersion break.
I like to think that Dante says that.
It ruins it.